Hello, Taurus. How are you? It's me, Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. We have done your read this week with the Starseed Oracle deck. I feel very anxious. Are you feeling very antsy? Ants in your pants? Anxious? Could be Pisces full moon. It's really that hub of pressure that we all feel. If you've been personally victimized by the Pisces full moon, raise your hand. But it feels like there are a lot of changes going on and that are going to continue over the course of, I feel as though the next 2 months leading up to Thanksgiving for you. I've been channeling a lot of Thanksgiving energy for the collective. And I feel like it's put you a little bit into, I want to say like a panic mode. There's a song that's coming in my head by the Silver Sun Pickups called Panic Switch. When I see your face in a crowded room, do you feel very crowded right now? A lot of pressure, a lot of eyes on you, Taurus. The first card that you have out is Star Family. You're a part of a team of souls. Call in support. And the first thing out of all of these beings that I'm noticing is this little earth. Little baby earth. A new earth. I feel as though you feel like there are a lot of people around you, a lot of activity happening around you, but you feel very far away from your spiritual support team, from your guides, from your angels, from your spiritual Fab Five, if you'd like to call it as such. Almost a sense of you're looking for guidance, you're praying, but it feels like unanswered prayers. You feel like no one's listening to you in the ethers, which I actually don't think is the case at all. I feel as though all of your prayers, your worries, your wishes, it's all being heard and it's all very much being acknowledged by your spiritual support team. Confirmation. You are being heard. They hear you. They see you, they're around to help you. What I feel is happening though is that you are waiting for like a shooting star, right? It's almost like you're waiting for like an alien, like a spaceship to land in the backyard to let you know that like everything's going to be okay, that like your help is on the way, dear, help is on the way, you know? Something very loud, some kind of very obvious synchronicity, some kind of huge like breakthrough moment. But the thing is that oftentimes our angels, God, our guides, they're not always loud. Sometimes they're very quiet. They're very subtle, right? So it's you're praying for guidance. You're praying for, I feel like a lot of it's like peace and relief, trying to figure out like what direction to go in a lot of ways. And I feel like you are being given symbols and synchronicities and little breadcrumbs along your trail, but you're looking for like a whole loaf of bread, like pointing in a certain direction, but you have to follow the yellow brick road, and I think it's probably just because you feel a little panicky, you feel a lot of pressure, you feel very kind of anxious, and so it would make you feel better to have like a big blinking sign, like this way, but that's not really how spirit talks to us more often than not, right? You find God in the pots and pans, in the birds, in the wind, when you see a feather. You know, it's like I almost feel like you see a feather on the ground and you walk past and you go, oh, a feather, not realizing that like that's a symbol of support and of guidance. There's something in that, but as you call, it is being answered. And you see, it's like a direct line. You have a direct line to source and to spirit. There are all of these beings, all of these angels, all of this help, and it's coming for you. It's here for you. And I feel very important. I feel like very drawn to note that you always have a set kind of team. You have a set spiritual team that is always there to help you. But as you know how we say with every new level, there's a new devil. With every new level, there's also like a new angel. There's a new guide. There's a new entity, spiritual being that kind of shows up to help you along your way on this new caveat. Okay, this new caveat, this new cycle, this new season that you're embarking on. Personally, I've gone through periods of time where I'll hit a new level and I'll have a certain guide sort of go off, and then there's almost like a waiting period for like the new one to come in, and it'll feel very quiet for me. And sometimes I'll get a little anxious, be like, oh no, I've been forsaken. My guides got really quiet. I don't know what's happening. But it's almost like they're having like a team meeting. It's like the new guys coming in and they're having like a team assessment meeting on how best to like work together to get you where you need to go. So it's like I have to look a little bit more closely. I have to pay a little bit more attention to the symbols and the numbers and all of the guides that I'm getting. Literally the guides that I'm getting. Your next card out is You're Not Alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. I feel like it's a little bit of a weight of the world and you have to bear it all on your own. And perhaps there are people around you, I'm sensing, that you might be trying to get advice from, you might be trying to lean on. That Coulter Wall song came on, The Devil Wears a Suit and Tie. He's a line in there that goes, I know you and I know you know me. I can tell it's you by the state of your hands. It's the devil wears a suit and tie. That perhaps there are people in your environment that are going through similar situations, have gone through similar interventions. Okay. Situations that perhaps you were leaning on for counsel. You're leaning on them for counsel. And I'm not getting instinctually that there's like malice or anything. Like they're not like out to get you or anything, but people can only help you to the extent of their own understanding, and people intentionally and most oftentimes unintentionally project their own needs and wants onto us. Like sometimes people have like a bit of an ulterior motive or agenda, right? That we might not be realizing. So there is a big call to be mindful of who you are going to for counsel. I also think that your guides are really wanting you to limit the amount of background noise and opinions of other people, so that way you can really just rely on them. It's sort of like when you go to other people for help and nothing anyone says is making you feel better, and you are a little bit of a lost cause. You're at a loss for words. And sometimes they do that to us, so that way we know that the highest of advice, the highest of guidance we are going to receive is from them. It is from source energy. And I actually see this as your higher self and you, right? And you're kind of cloaked in these stars. And it's sort of like trying to have a sense of like spiritual armor, and it's very dark blue. So it's like trying to be strong, trying to express your truth, cloak yourself in your truth, trying to be very, very strong. But you have these fans behind you, right? And it almost looks like a lizard, like how a lizard has that little like fan, that thing on their back. I'm not very familiar with reptiles, but I'm looking at it and I keep hearing Komodo dragon, which is interesting because Komodo dragons don't have that. They don't have that extra flare on their back. And symbolically, if you look at Komodo dragons, they're very aggressive. They're very, very fierce, almost in the sense of trying to maintain your strength, trying to like be defensive against other people, a little bit of that like get away from me energy. But your higher self over here has it too, has a sense of spiritual defense, has a sense of truth, right? Energetic sovereignty, but it's not so big. It's not so overcompassing that you can assert your authority in the situation. You can take control of the situation. You can feel better and more sovereign in whatever situation you're going through without allowing a spirit of aggressiveness, or I'm getting fierceness to come over you, because a lot of that is ego and shadow aspects of ourselves that come out when we feel threatened. And I'm looking, it's kind of like in a spaceship, it's like a hub. But what I'm seeing more is, it's strange, I know, it looks like a compact, like a makeup compact, like when you open it and then there's like the little makeup or the blush or the bronzer or whatever on the bottom. And then there's like this mirror. It's like this mirror into yourself, right? With your higher self, your highest potential, your highest sovereignty, your highest actualization of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and things you're able to put out there. But there's also something about compact. You're trying to make things too compact, and I think you're actually putting too much pressure on yourself. It's too compact. You're trying to compact too many things. It's like when you overstuff a bag and the zipper starts to rip. There's something in that. But if you can release that compact a little bit, kind of open it up, let it breathe. I'll give source, give your angels, give your guides a minute. give them a little space to come in and work their magic, that you will create more of an alchemy. You will feel more of this connection to your guides, to your source, whatever that is for you, to your higher self. And then you have fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. So you might be feeling a little extreme right now. You might be feeling really panicky, really anxious, like you have a lot to do. Everyone's depending on you. You can't let anyone down. You can't let yourself down. Like there's absolutely no room for error whatsoever. So you're looking up at the sky and you're like, give me a sign, like give me a big shooting star sign. And they're like, we're leaving you breadcrumbs. Like you need to calm, like let a little steam out of the kettle. And so you're like, okay, I'm gonna let some steam out of the kettle. So I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go have a good time and I'm gonna like kick my shoes off. But in doing that, it is a bit of an extreme. Like there needs to be, like you work during part of the day and then you relax for part of the day. It's not like hitting your responsibilities so hard and then hitting relaxing so hard that then you feel guilty for relaxing so hard and then you work so hard. I don't know why I keep wanting to do this. I have no idea. But then you work so hard that you burn yourself out. It's this, like there needs to be more temperance. And I almost wish I used a tarot deck for this. Like you need to have like more temper. I don't know why I want to do this either. Oh, do you want to, because this helps create, like when you move your body, you create some kind of like energetic flow. The energy moves through your body better. So there could be like, maybe you need to dance or you need to do like some yoga or you need to like go for a walk or you need to do something kind of physical. You need to do something kind of physical, like some kind of calisthenics in order to get some of this excess energy out. You know, it's like when you're in a bad mood and you go to the gym and you just run and then you feel a little bit better. You feel a little bit better afterwards. I actually tried to do your reading last night, and it didn't sit right with my spirit, so I've redone it today. And last night I was talking about my TENS machine, TENS completion, which is basically an electronic stimulator. You have little pads and you put it on your back or you put it on a part of your body that's not feeling so great, and it sends electrocurrents. It sends electrocurrents through that part of your body, so it overstimulates your muscles. So that way when you take it off, your muscles are so tired that they don't have the natural energy in themselves to contract and to constrict. So part of that pressure that you might be feeling could actually be from the universe trying to almost overstimulate you, almost like fry out the cords, fry out the lines a little bit, so that way you just surrender to the process. You're like, all right, I need help. I'm stressed. I feel like my back's against the wall and I don't know what to do. So that way you can fall into their arms. You can rely more on your spirit team and your guides and your angels and God, knowing that like some mountains you just can't move on your own. Sometimes things are just too much and you need to be blessed with peace and you need to be blessed with like healing energy, to be soothed in these beautiful blue waters, not like potent and I have to be super strong, but a sense of relief. You know, you have this star family. This could be a lot of ancestors too, going straight to Earth, not to the moon, going straight to Earth. Again, out of this supernova. It's like there is this big explosion of help, but you can't see it because it's up in the ethers, and it comes bit by bit, piece by piece. And here it goes, like filtering in when you're kind of in this lower world, this like deep emotional cavern. And here they are. It's like they're all surrounding you, everyone. And you can see these two faces up here. And it's like they're praying up. It's like not only are you praying for yourself and your advancement and your development to get you to a better place than you feel you are right now, but also your ancestors and your angels, they're also praying on your behalf. This could be other people in your life too, really without telling you or without you realizing, really praying for your salvation, for your peace, for your restoration to come in. And it's almost like here they are. It's like they come in to you as like your spirit guide, your higher self is sort of holding you, overstimulated, tired now, not able to fight the process of what's going on, because there are soul lessons that we learn through the midst of all these changes. It's not just we're going from A and now we're going to B. It's also like there are little stops that we hit in between A and B that helps grow us as people as well. And it's like it comes right in and then it comes right out too. It's like back and forth, cyclical energies. And back to that Komodo dragon and lizards and all that stuff. It talks about death and rebirth energy. It's kind of similar to the wolf spirit, but because of that death and rebirth energy, and a lot of fear of the new, oftentimes we can push ourselves into similar cycles, similar seasons, similar situations with people in our 3D life that emulate and replicate situations that we just got out of. And it's almost like an emotional attachment that we have to being in certain kinds of relationships, having certain kinds of dynamics, right? Kind of compacting our experiences without letting them breathe to really understand like the point of the entire process. I was doing my nails last night and I kept messing up my pointer finger and I was like, what do I keep messing up the point? And I was like, oh, that's for me. Yep. Sometimes we go through the whole process, right? All 10, the whole cycle. But somehow, a lot of times, and I do it too, we miss the point of the whole thing. What was the point of this, all of this change, all of this upheaval, right? A lot of it's about learning to surrender to the utmost high, to the divine, to the blueprint that we agreed to before we came down here. And then you have star brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. And it's fascinating because these two birds over here, their feathers, they look more like scales, right? Sort of like this lizard energy that we have over here. You are in the middle of a death and rebirth process. And here it's like you're inside of source. I'm getting a lot of prayer closet, that it's really important right now for you, again, to kind of get rid of a lot of the background noise and come back to yourself, come back to source, God, whatever that is for you, however you like to define it for yourself, and have it be a continual conversation throughout the day. Not just when things are good and you're like, thank you, Jesus, and not just like when things are bad and you're like, God, I need you so bad, but to have a continuous conversation all day, every day, as you go on throughout the day, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to open your mouth audibly and people look at you like you're crazy, even though we know we're not crazy in this community. But as you're driving, you know, like, well, what do you think about this? And, oh, wow, guys, look at that. And, oh, my God, I see two. And having a continuous conversation in this prayer closet, because you are in the middle of a death and rebirth cycle, right? There's a lot of pressure getting through the canal. And if you actually look at the orb back here, it kind of looks like an embryo. It looks like an embryo. And it's like you're inside of it. You're gestating. There are still lessons. You're still growing a nose and fingers and toes in order to get through this. And there's all this star family, community, brothers, protection, loyalty, being loyal to, I almost want to say like the spiritual energy that has gotten you this far, so far too. It's like, well, don't give up on them now. They haven't let you down this far. Have they let you down this far? No, like they've been there, they've loved you, they've supported you, they've gotten you through every other death and rebirth cycle. God has moved mountains inside of you. You've watched Source move mountains outside of you in the most unexpected ways, in the most impossible situations, like yet you survive. And yet better than that, you thrive. So it's like they're not gonna let you down this time. Not this time, not today, and not tomorrow, Taurus. And your last card out, baby steps. Family, brothers, community, babies. This could be a family situation. I'm getting a lot of like empty nest syndrome. You could be moving. I'm also getting a situation where it's like perhaps you have children that are leaving for school. You have children that are leaving for school and you know that it's like they're going to be home for winter break. You know, like they're going to come home at Thanksgiving, and they're going to come home at Christmas, but in your mind it feels like they're never coming back. Like they're never coming home. It's that kind of energy. It's little baby out with the bathwater. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Again, it's like this cavernous kind of energy. It's like you're down here and you're finally coming to a point where it's like you have to surrender to the blueprint. And in that surrender, you calm your energy enough down that you can actually see how many like blues clues are around you that they've been leaving and leading you with. And as you do that, it's almost like a time lapse. You kind of start to get the bigger picture, get the point, and you start moving your way all the way up here to the top of this mountain. And the thing is, which is fascinating, is that this is like a huge portal, right? This is a big portal for you to walk through. It's like this big move, this big change, this big cycle that's coming to an end, this new season that's opening up for you. But what I'm drawn to most are the little portals up here. That in doing this, in this surrender, you get all the way up to this mountaintop and be like, okay, this is the big change. It's finally happening. And then at the last minute, before you jump with that fool energy, you kind of look up and go, wait, what's that up there? It's another portal. It's another path. It's another season. It's another cycle. It's another option. Higher. It's not as big, right? It's like this big thing that you wanted, this big sign, this big door to open. But in fact, there is another. It's smaller. You have to look up a little bit. It's not right in front of your face, but it is higher up. It is a higher actualization. It is a higher timeline. It is a higher potential. That when you are putting so much pressure on yourself to get everything done, like packing or moving or feeling like things are out of your control. Most things are out of our control. Absolutely. Like personally, like my sister's moving in like 2 months, and she's doing a lot of stuff right now. My sister's a Taurus. I don't think she watches this video, so it doesn't matter. But she's, getting herself all together to move in a couple months, but it's almost as though she's trying to do 2 months worth of work in like a week. Right? And like part of it is that she's trying to put herself ahead of the game and, school's starting with the kids and this and that and the other thing. But it's almost like 2 months is not tomorrow. Like the move is not tomorrow. It's like you're not doing this tomorrow. It's part of the full moon energy that's coming in is really to kind of like build you up so that way they can like burst you a little bit. So that way you're just like, all right, just tell me what you want me to do. I'm not going to fight the process. And you're just like, okay. And as soon as you're like, okay, and you look up, you see this higher potentiality. You see another option. You see like another blessing that's up there that it's like you didn't even realize because you were so focused, that tunnel vision, getting through to the other side, that it's like you didn't even realize that there's something even better. This is going to work out even better than you think it's going to. So don't stress, and you are not alone. Go into your prayer closet, build a stronger relationship with your guides. Know that you are not alone. You have ancestors, you have God, you have spirit team, you have a spiritual Fab Five all around you. And all that they want you to do is just have a little faith right now. Just surrender to the process. Just be like, you know what? They haven't let me down so far, and they're not going to let me go down right now. I don't have to be defensive against the world and everything that's going to happen because I know that they have my back. And they do. And so do I, because I love you. I never met a Taurus I didn't like. Not a one, except that one guy. I'm kidding. I never met a Taurus I didn't like. So, my little baby bulls, I love you so much. Please take care of yourself. Try and get some rest if you can. If you can, just fuck around and get a little sleep today. Maybe. And I love you very much. All the information you should need from me will be in the description box. All my decks, my email, my Instagram, all my things, all my peeps, all my stuffs. So I love you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon. Go check out your Element by Design reading. Those are monthly readings. So if you want to get a little more specific, it's in your monthly reading. So I will see you next time.